Hi, everybody. Oh, yeah, looks like you can hear me fine because the green bar is bouncing up and down. I am Catherine Gordon, sometimes going by Kathy Best Gordon to shorten it up a little bit. Oh, I'll go ahead and tell you why. I'm starting a new program called Best Body 40, Best Body 30. It is all the things that I have learned as a personal trainer and certified nutrition specialist, putting it all together. Three components. It's the best body triad or best body triangle, and it's training, nutrition, and recovery. But today I want to talk about there's something that I've been seeing among some of my friends and even some of my clients sometimes is this sense of being on a nutrition strategy and not getting satisfied, still being hungry, suffering, searching for something to eat, feeling like the way that you've chosen to eat in order to lose fat is a burden, that it's hard. And you've heard so many people say that diets don't work. And a diet is a change as far as I'm concerned. When we're talking about dieting in terms of food, that when you do go on a diet, you're making a change in order to get a specific result. For example, fat release. And that's what most of my clients are interested in, who buy Sugar Freedom, and many who come to Gordon's studio to train with me. But the concept that I bring to Sugar Freedom is that there's a specific period of time when you are transitioning into being a fat burner. And the Sugar Freedom diet was created not for necessarily everybody on the planet, but it was created for people who are struggling with sugar and grains and processed vegetable oils, and who simply don't do well on a standard American diet. So the great question is, when you shift to a new nutritional strategy, how do you know it's really working for you? You know it's working for you when the cravings and the obsession and the hunger stops. This is why you go through the process of the sugar strike. This is why you go on the Sugar Freedom program, is in order to get the cravings and the hunger and the obsession with food to stop. And if you're on a program and you're suffering, please don't suffer too long. If you're on Sugar Freedom and you're suffering, please don't suffer too long. But let's talk about that specifically. On the Sugar Freedom plan, what we discover is the majority of the people who do the plan that I've worked with in studio and that I've been in contact with either in the Facebook group or through my email list is that most people find relief from the overwhelming hunger and cravings, from the sugar cravings, in about 3 days. The sugar strike is mainly protein, vegetables, and fat. And you're eating that for 3 days, you're drinking lots of fluid, you're drinking the fat loss tonic, you're drinking the freedom water, and the idea is it's to get you satisfied, it's to get you full, and it's to lower the sugary and starchy carbs so that you have to burn fat, so that your body has to turn to breaking down fat and utilizing free fatty acids for energy. And then also, as we get into the ketogenic realm, for using beta-hydroxybutyrate, which is amazing fuel for your heart and for your brain. I've unplugged my ketonics today because I had to plug in my microphone. But look, I've been following a ketogenic strategy for 7 years now. And today I got up and I blew into my ketonics. Here it is, right? And it was green, so I was in ketosis. Interesting, I expected it to be a little bit higher, but, at least something was going on. But today's video is about you and about what you should be feeling. And after a few days, you should be feeling relief. The reason why I was able to lose over 60 pounds with the Sugar Freedom strategy, and the reason I've been able to keep it off literally for years, is because I don't crave sugar anymore. And I don't crave starch anymore. And I don't crave the garbage, or thank you, Jimmy Moore, for this word, garbage that I used to crave. And this is so many of my students and my readers who have committed long-term to a Sugar Freedom strategy, they know this too. The reason that it works is because we don't want to eat that junk anymore. A successful man once told me, Catherine, you can't sell people what they need. You have to sell them what they want. And I remember hearing that and leaving that meeting and feeling really, really sad. Because all I could think was, who wants to give up sugar for good? Who wants to give up muffins and crackers and cookies and pancakes and waffles and all of those things for good? Who wants to do that? The people that I want to serve are the people who need to do that. The people who, if they get into the sugar, if they get into the muffins, if they get into the scones, that these people are going to compulsively overeat to the point of pain and misery and weight gain and joint pain and all of those things, just like me. How in the world am I going to get people to want to give up sugar? Well, over the last several years, especially since I opened Gordon's Studio and I've been able to work one-on-one with people, since I've been able to interact with people in the Facebook group, what I have realized is that people actually come to want a different way of eating. You get away from the sugar, you get away from the starch, you get away with the junk, and ladies and gentlemen, you stop wanting it. The suffering goes away. And it's a Cinderella story. And I'll tell you why. If you go ahead and leave the sugar and the starch behind, the craving for the sugar and the starch leaves. And you get to release fat, and you get to live happily ever after in that body that you want, that doesn't ache, and in the heart and the mind that doesn't crave. This is what you get. This is the Cinderella story. But just like Cinderella, there's a trade. There's a bargain that you have to make. And just like Cinderella needed to be home by midnight so that she wouldn't be discovered because the spell would be broken and she would be in her old clothes and her old shoes and her old friends would be back the way they were. Just like Cinderella, we make a trade. We make a bargain. We trade the sugar. We trade the grains. We trade the processed vegetable oils for this incredible feeling of satiety. We trade variety for satiety. And people like me and Sarah and Mary and all the people, Paula, and all the people who are living the sugar freedom lifestyle, ask me, ask us, send me a message, Catherine@sugarfreedom.com. Make a comment here, and I'll tell you the truth. Every day that you keep stepping away from the sugar and the starch and the junk, it gets easier and easier and easier, and you get leaner, and you look younger, and you feel more energetic, and life just gets better. So if you're in the first couple of days of sugar freedom, or if you're in the first couple of days, or perhaps up to 2 weeks, because yes, for some individuals it does take longer. If you're in those early stages of the program, I just want to say, keep going. Stick with it. For most sugar freedom, for most sugar strikers, you're going to feel that incredible relief within 3 days. And the portion of people who don't feel it within 3 days, you're going to feel it within 7, and almost always 100% of the time, if you can stick with it for 2 weeks, you're going to feel that wonderful drop in appetite, the surge in energy, and the incredible power of being able to look at junk and honestly say, I don't want it. Because the question I ask is, are you willing to give up a little bit of the pleasure of eating for a whole lot of the joy of living? Because that's the bargain I'm asking you to make today. Set aside the sugar, set aside the grain, set aside the processed vegetable oils, set aside the junk, and make room for a feeling of energy and management and self-confidence and self-sufficiency and satiety that is going to lead you to the best life you've ever lived. Because I tell you, when you aren't constantly thinking about where your next snack is going to come from, your life opens up. And there's so much more that you can do. And I've seen it among my students and my readers and my members. Promotions, relationships, volunteering, lives expanding, artistic creativity, It's amazing what is waiting for you. If you are a food addict like me, if you're a sugar addict like me, and you find a strategy like Sugar Freedom for letting the sugar and the starch and the grains and the vegetable oil go, I promise you, get through the days of transition and your life will open up. So I'm leaving you with this. SugarFreedom.com has the strategy for you to want something else. I may not be able to get you to go after what you need before you go after what you want, but I hope that maybe this video today has helped you to want something different. Have you had enough? Have you had enough donuts? Have you had enough milkshakes? Would you like something else? Energy, self-respect, the figure you've always wanted. Try Sugar Freedom, or try any program that you wish that's a real food program that's going to get you off the junk, and see if you end up with the food plan you need and the life that you really want. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Catherine Gordon for SugarFreedom.com. Please subscribe, follow the channel. I have more tips. I've got more strategies for you. Once again, thanks for watching.